Welcome to the final IMBA tournament round between Legion 17 and Voodoo. As we can see, the map is currently on Theta. As we have a look in the middle of the map, most players now know this. There is 5 civilian buildings, so obviously this is going to be quite a good map. Not many mass points around the map. Obviously, the more mass points there are, the better the eco, but obviously, if you have a look, Legion's going for an early T1 bomber, so obviously Legion's going to try and destroy Voodoo's ecosystem by killing any engineers and anything else that he starts building, obviously therefore putting in place a very excellent plan. As we can see, Voodoo is going straight for land, so which is going to be quite interesting. Two different strategies at start off, air and land. Obviously, as we can see, Voodoo sending a single mech marine out. So obviously he's going to start scouting without the scout radar, so obviously this is going to be even more interesting. So if we have a look at Legion's bomber. As we can see, as we follow Legion's bomber, he's stopping it just outside of Voodoo's base. There we go. He's stopped and he's fired at the Voodoo's T1. And he's also fired again at the T1 AA that was just being built. As we have a look in, the bomber has 2 kills but is currently being killed by 2 T2-1 air units. So obviously that was quite successful. T1 bombing at the start of the game by Legion. Killed 2 enemy units, 1 radar and 1 engineer. Obviously Voodoo is now currently heavily assisting his hydrocarbon power plant with his ACU. As we can see, Legion is also doing that, but he also has an engineer assisting him, which will make him go faster. He's also got 3 T4 land factories built, queued, and he's going to start spreading out to say, capture these mass points, I want a bigger eco and a better eco very fast. Obviously this is going to be 2 pros of FA. At the moment, Voodoo's got the best chance of winning by taking out anything early of Legion, but obviously Voodoo's T1 mech marine is coming outside of Voodoo's base, is currently assaulting the engineer of Voodoo, Legion, which has just been killed. And we can also see that Legion is currently heavily assisting his land factories with the T1 engineer. Obviously Voodoo has also got a T1 mech marine at the bottom right hand side of the map, just below Legion's base. Obviously that's there to stop any engineers from being able to capture the mass points and therefore giving Voodoo the advantage. As we can see, just hovering to the left of Voodoo's small force of a scout and 2 AA is a T1 bomber. Obviously Legion doesn't want that T1 bomber to be killed, as it's currently acting as a scout. So that is quite interesting. So as we can see, Legion is currently building a T1 mass extractor just down at the bottom of the screen, and has got plans for moving up just to the right hand side and start taking over the rocks, as a load of little rocks will give a significant mass boost to both players. As we can have a look at the bottom right hand side of the map, we've got 2 extra mass points which Voodoo is currently being built on, and a T1 engineer. He's also got a T1 engineer is also applying a T1 radar, so obviously that T1 radar will doing quite a lot of damage. But as we can see, Voodoo, Legion's got another T1 bomber, and he will be aiming to kill the T1 engineer right now, which is now shot. Obviously Voodoo has a T1 AA, but which is just being killed, so that's great work by Voodoo. Poor work by Voodoo covering his engineer, but great work by Legion killing the engineer. So obviously Legion is currently causing havoc over the skies of Theta Pasage. Voodoo is now building a T1 factory to build interceptors. Obviously interceptors are the best way to kill T1 bombers, but obviously Legion now see this and will probably be starting to build T1 interceptors to kill the interceptors. As we can see in the bottom of the map, we have a strike force of 3 mech marines and a snoop by Voodoo, currently killing the bottom of Legion's base. Obviously Legion has now got a boatload of T1 farms on the way. He's got 6 of them planned to kill 3 mech marines. As we can see elsewhere on the map, Voodoo is currently building 3 forward T1 land factories. So obviously he wants to get in, he wants to get reinforcements as quick to the front line as possible. As we have a look round, Legion is currently moving his SCU up to assault the top middle of the map, where Voodoo currently has control over it, but obviously Voodoo is losing control of the map quite quickly. So obviously this is going to turn out to be a fantastic match. Obviously both pro players, as we can see, Voodoo currently has T1 air interceptors up. Obviously the T1 bombers of Legion has been killed. As we can see in the bottom of the map, just top middle right, we have Voodoo currently pushing into the civilian buildings. So this being a fantastic move by Voodoo. Obviously he wants to reclaim the civilian buildings, but obviously at the moment we've got Voodoo, we've got Legion kind of pushing still but retreating back into his area. While at the top and the right of the map, we've got Ferrum tanks killing the T1 mass extractors, therefore limiting Voodoo's eco even more. As you can see, Voodoo is currently getting himself trapped behind enemy lines. We've got a lot of firm tanks with Voodoo's SCU in big trouble. Legion's SCU is now currently fighting off MA-12 striker tanks, but obviously Voodoo doesn't have nowhere near enough tanks as Legion. So obviously Voodoo's currently in quite a major trouble now, as Voodoo starts to retreat his forces. Obviously his SCU is currently being absolutely pounded by the enemy. As you can see, Legion currently has quite a bit more mass power. Obviously that's helped a lot in the fight versus Legion and Voodoo. As we can see, Voodoo is now down to 6,000 health, so obviously Voodoo's in deep trouble. As we can see elsewhere in the map, Voodoo doesn't have any more land units, so this has been a pretty much good game to Legion and Voodoo, with Legion winning the first of the best of 5 round.